I was an NFL football fan from a very young age. I played football all the way up through one single year of tiny little college football at a tiny little community college. I even got to play in a game or two. So I love the game. I love the strategy. I love the tactics. Years ago, the NFL told me to kiss off. We hate you. Go away. Never come back. So I haven't. They did that in multiple ways. One of them was, of course, the Black National Anthem. There is no such thing. We're a country of one people, although the NFL is participating in seeing us split up. I don't think they understand what they're doing, or they don't care. Either way, we have to take a point of view that Jesus took, which is forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. Now, is it a sin to play the Black National Anthem? No, but I think it's a sin to divide. I think it's a sin to purposely pit neighbor against neighbor because you're sowing the seeds of hatred. The NFL is a profit-seeking enterprise, full stop. There is no morality. They had to be forced into figuring out ways to help stop concussions happening to their players. They had to be forced into that and drug across the goal line and that. And there's still many players who don't wear these enhanced helmets. Maybe that's up to them. The NFL also knows, and they know for a fact, that players take steroids. And look, that's their choice. Adult human beings, go take your steroids. I wish you wouldn't, but you're going to anyway. And the NFL is aware of this, so they work diligently to make sure that they're not aware of it, if you know what I mean. Brazil was a great test case for what the NFL has become. It's not just telling me to kiss off and you to kiss off by playing the Black National Anthem. It's also this. The NFL, or specifically the Seattle Seahawks, arranged the firing of my friend, Dori Monson, who's since gone to heaven. Dori was a market-dominant radio host in Seattle for almost 30 years. When he came out and made a simple joke, because Washington State is a joke, the so-called governor there had said that Washington State makes science-backed decisions. And Dori on Twitter said, oh, like me, a man in my 50s can go change my birth certificate to female? That's science-backed? The Seahawks leapt into action and suspended Dori from the pregame show he did in addition to his news and opinion show. Ultimately, he was dropped from that program, and the ratings of the pregame show plummeted, and they've stayed plummeted. Incidentally, since Dori passed, the radio station in which he held forth has also seen an enormous drop in ratings. So the NFL told us to kiss off. But Brazil is a huge, huge test case, and it's incredible to me that they can see what's happening in a country like that and still go down and celebrate it. It is all about the money with the NFL. And look, we're a for-profit enterprise here. We seek to make sure that we work with great partners who are moral people. My friend Zach Abraham at Bulwark Capital Management is a moral guy. He is a Christian man. He doesn't advertise that at Bulwark. It's not at knowyourriskradio.com. He refuses to use the Lord's name, praise God, as a marketing tactic, but it informs everything he does, and it costs him clients sometimes. There are clients who will come to Zach and say, wait a minute, I'm not getting into the NVIDIA sugar rush as much as I want. I want more of the sugar rush. And what Zach will say is, great, then you'll take a much larger risk than we're willing to do with your money. Yes, he wants our portfolios to grow, but towards a very specific goal. Here's what retirement means to Zach. Knowing exactly how much money you will have every month for the rest of your life. Is that what you want? It's what I want. That's why my money's there. Zach is putting on a free live webinar to talk about world events like Brazil, like the shutdown of free speech, like the election, and how this is likely to affect retirement portfolios and how Bulwark is going to help you by actively managing every portfolio, which can reduce risk and volatility. This is a free live webinar. It's on the 26th of this month, but you have to register to attend. Go to knowyourriskradio.com. That's knowyourriskradio.com. And now, to protect you, a message the government has us run.
Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. Any references to performance of securities are thought to be materially accurate, and actual performance may differ. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 24308.
When a meme can explain a situation and show in great detail why the NFL is so wrong to have gone to Brazil and celebrated the shutdown of Twitter-X there, then it means it's a pretty simple case. This is a side-by-side comparison, simply taken off of social media because it got a lot of attention. On the left is Mark Zuckerberg looking robotic. Man, sometimes the dude looks exactly like Data from Star Trek. It says below Mark Zuckerberg's face, Mark Zuckerberg is free because he sells people's personal information. On the right is the founder and CEO of Telegram, who, if you didn't know, was arrested in France on a whole series of trumped-up charges. On below his face, it says Pavel Durov is not free because he does not sell people's personal information. Really what France wants, of course, is the ability to go through Telegram and censor you. Never forget, ever forget, that the government of our country actually floated the idea of being allowed to edit your text messages to your friends or to add warnings about mis and disinformation. They actually floated that idea. And no one in the Mockingbird media flipped out. The NFL operates on speech and vision, images, moving images. You would think then that they'd have some respect for the First Amendment. They don't. But then again, they don't have any respect for national unity. They're back to playing the so-called Black National Anthem.
And sing by the Kansas City Boys Choir and the Kansas City Girls Choir.
With every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise.
Incidentally, I think those kids probably sing far better when they can hear themselves. It has to be really hard to get up in front of a crowd like that, those beautiful kids, and not be able to hear themselves. The harmonies were a little bit off, at least to my ear. Harmony. I have absolutely no issue whatsoever with the decision to celebrate Black culture. But what is Black culture? See, Black is not a race. White is not a race. Black is not a country. White is not a country. If we're going to speak of races, let's be accurate. Let's actually talk about the nuance between countries from where Black people largely come or white people largely come. Let's celebrate the actual tapestry, the beauty that is language and art, philosophy, how people raise their families, government structures, myth. Let's celebrate the beauty of that. If you've ever had the great occasion to walk through a city like New York or San Francisco, where there are, in fact, separate districts for so-called races, you've had the great pleasure of crossing over from one road to another, and the smells change, and the sounds of language change. And in fact, if you're paying attention, the cadence of how people walk changes. The way people regard you, the greetings they give you or not changes. It's absolutely beautiful. In other words, as the Lord might say, it is good. But to take a song like this and label it the Black National Anthem is to state to kids, you are not part of your own country. You're a separate nation within a nation. Look, the Lord said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. Creating nations within nations will topple the United States. The NFL doesn't care. They don't care about what's going on in other nations. Elon Musk's Twitter, or X. This is how the media now refers to it. It's Elon Musk's X. It wasn't ever before, say, Jack Dorsey's X or Twitter. No, they have to identify it with Elon Musk, and all the headlines are the same. With Musk's ban, with a Musk X banned in Brazil, its users carve out new digital homes. X banned in Brazil and China, but Elon Musk is only in a spat with blah, 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 blah. How NFL reporters are working around Brazil's ban on X. The NFL went to a country that banned a platform because one judge said he wanted Elon Musk to ban specific people from posting. Why? Because they were critiquing his takeover of the country. Brazil's constitution does not call for it to be ruled by a judge or a series of judges. There was a time when the United States actually stood and defended free speech and criticized and, in fact, didn't work with countries that crush it. The U.S. ambassador to Brazil went to the game and sat there smiling and giggling as a country shut down speech. The NFL, by sponsoring this game there and putting it on and not even mentioning the ban, not even protesting it, says they don't care. They told us to kiss off with the Black National Anthem. They specifically told me to kiss off by what they did to my friend Dori Monson. And my question is this: what will it take for you to stop watching? I'm not talking about a boycott. I'm not talking about boycotting their advertisers. I'm not talking about trying to hurt them economically. You're not going to. But what will it take for you to cease to look at a product created with people dividing our nation, harming young people by showing them that they're not even part of the country in which they live, and actively aiding in the destruction of speech? Look, I'll admit it. I was having dinner the other day with one of my students and his father, and there was a football game on. And my student was really, really interested in the football game, and it was everything I could do to not turn around and watch. But what will it take for you to say to the NFL, I get it. You hate me. I'll stop watching.